See you.
So, hello everyone. I know you guys have been welcomed here like a few times already because we're the last group, but we would like to welcome you here anyway. So I'd like to introduce my group. This is Jess, Juliana, Destiny, and my name is Emily. So this is our website. We are doing the topic genetics of cardiovascular diseases. So I'm going to quickly take you through the website just so you guys can come on your own time. By the way, there are papers you can pick up on the side. They're shaped like hearts. If you don't have one right now, you can quickly go grab one. They just have a short synopsis of each topic we're going to be talking about. Also, they have stickers, so that's pretty good. Cool. So, this is the slide for genealogy, which is what Juliana will be speaking about. And arrhythmia, which is Jess. Influences on CVDs, which is Destiny. Ethics, which is myself. This is our presentation. Also, references are on the references page on our website. Perfect, so I'll hand things over to Julian.
For me, I did genetics. So what is genetics and how does it work? Each gene has their job. Like chromosomes, genes also come in pairs. Each of your parents have 2 copies of their genes, and each parent passes along only 1 copy of their genes. Genes that have passed off from the parents determine many of the traits. The genetics of the baby are half from the mother and half from the father. 1/4 of each parent genes are from the grandparents. Each egg and each sperm contain half the chromosomes, so 23 chromosomes. When they meet, they pair up to form a baby. One of the 23 chromosomes are sex chromosomes. Each egg carries 1 Y chromosome, an X chromosome, and each sperm carries an X or Y chromosome. When the X chromosomes combine, the baby will be a girl. When the X and Y chromosome combine, the baby will be a boy. Similar patients with CVD have about a 40% risk increase, while offspring of parents with early signs of CVD have a 60% to 75% increase. Ancestors that have lived for 14 generations ago could affect your life. Genetics in twins is a little bit different. Fraternal twins can run your families. Genetics can play a big role if you can have twins or not. For example, when a woman's sibling is a fraternal twin, she has a 2.5 times greater ability to have twins than the average. For a given pregnancy, only genetics from the mother matters. Fraternal twins happens when 2 eggs are released and fertilized instead of 1. Genetics of the father can make the woman release 2 eggs. Identical twins share all their genetics. The difference in identical twins are because of their environments. Fraternal twins don't share any more genetics than any 2 siblings. Lung functions are inheritable but not genetical, which connects to the rest of the race.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the disease arrhythmia, which is inheritable. As has been said before, it's a condition in the rhythm of the heart, it can be too fast or too slow or just regular. This connects to the circulatory system of the heart. It occurs when the electrical signals don't cooperate the way they should, and they don't send electric signals. Many types of arrhythmias are harmless and have no symptoms, but there are types that can be fatal and show symptoms. And some of these symptoms could be fluttering the chest, racing heartbeat, slow heartbeat, or chest pain. There's 2 main types, and the first type is tachycardia. This is the type where the heart beats faster while it's at rest, and it happens in the upper or lower chambers and sometimes both. As other types of arrhythmia, you might not experience any complications or symptoms. That is important that if you know you have this disease, you should go see a doctor. Some treatments for tachycardia is vagal maneuvers, cough, heat, place ice pack on your face for 15 seconds or gag, or you can do a cardiac version, which is an AED, automatic external defibrillator, which sends a shock to your heart to slow down the heart. The second type is bradycardia. This is where the heartbeat is slower than normal, which means it's less than 60 beats per minute. And this can be very serious because then there isn't enough blood that's getting pumped through your body. Treatments for this is change in medications if your medications are causing this problem, or to have a pacemaker, which is a battery-operated device placed on the collarbone, and then device are going through your vein to your heart. And this monitors your heart rate and generates impulses that are necessary to maintain the appropriate heart rate. Arrhythmia is hereditary, and there's a few types that can be inherited, and often some of the more dangerous types. And so if you know a family member that has arrhythmia, it would be a good idea to go to a doctor to see if you have these too. There's long QT syndrome, which is a rare disorder in the lower chambers where the heart beats too fast and the can't pump the blood properly. There's short QT syndrome. This is when the muscles take longer to recharge, and so your heart beats slower. And Lou syndrome, which is also when the heart beats. So we're gonna have a little activity. If someone, we have a stethoscope over here. If someone, a volunteer, wants to come up to hear their own heartbeat. If you want to do it in the audience, you can do it too. You can find the carotid artery. It's right under your jaw. And then I'm going to count for 10 seconds how many heartbeats you have. Okay, stop. How many do you have? 8 times 6.
40.
And that's
So hi, I'm Destiny, like Emily said earlier. I'm sorry, I'm kind of currently going through a cold, so if I'm a little hard to understand, I'm sorry. But I'm also doing the topic of the influences of men and women for cardiovascular diseases and how they differ from each other. So women are known to have smaller hearts as well as some of the heart's interior chambers. The walls dividing these chambers are thinner. It is also known that women develop cardiovascular disease 7 to 10 years later than men. However, in younger women, it is more likely for plaque to destroy the vessel wall rather than bursting it. Men are known to develop CVD at a younger age and have a higher risk of developing coronary heart disease, while women have a higher risk of having a stroke. Females with coronary heart disease have been reported as being more likely of having a more severe cardiovascular risk factor. A large portion of cardiovascular diseases are described differences between men and women, epidemiology, clinical manifestations, pathophysiology, effects of therapy, and outcomes. Biological differences are referred to as sex differences due to differences in gene expression from sex chromosomes, as well as subsequent differences in sexual hormones that lead to differences in gene expression and function in the cardiovascular system. Gender differences are unique to the human being arising from socio-cultural processes. For example, the different behaviors between men and women being exposed to specific influences of the environment, forms of nutrition, lifestyle, stress, attitudes towards treatments and prevention. My next point is the risk of symptoms of cardiovascular disease, blood lipids. So blood lipids are mainly fatty acids and cholesterol. Premenopause women's estrogen helps protect them from heart disease, and this is done by increasing HDL, which is the good cholesterol, and decreasing LDL, the bad cholesterol. Following menopause, women experience increased concentrations of total cholesterol, and elevation of triglycerides is a significant contributor to cardiovascular risk in women. Triglycerides are the main components of natural fats and oils, and high concentrations concentrations in the blood indicate an elevated risk of stroke. Low LDL with high triglycerides seems to be the only factors increasing the risk of death in women over the age of 65 from heart disease. Women with diabetes often have more risk factors such as hypertension, obesity, and high cholesterol, as well as an increased risk of developing heart disease. However, it is more common for women to develop heart disease 10 years later than men, but having diabetes eliminates that advantage. As for women who have had a heart attack and diabetes, it doubles the risk of a second heart attack and an increased chance of heart failure. Metabolic syndrome is a group of health risks. For example, a large waist size, elevated blood pressure, glucose intolerance, low HDL cholesterol, and a high triglycerides increases the chances of developing heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. A Harvard Medical School did research suggesting that metabolic syndrome is the most important risk factor of having a heart attack at an early age for women. So men are more likely to experience a heart attack, as well as experience them earlier in life than women. So having family history of heart disease, smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and other risk factors increases the chances of having a heart attack. Symptoms for men and women experiencing a heart attack are different. And for example, men may experience standard chest pain or pressure that feels like an elephant on your chest and a squeezing sensation that either comes and goes or that it remains constant. Pain or discomfort in the upper body, which include arms, left shoulder, back, neck, jaw, or stomach, having a rapid or irregular heartbeat, discomfort in the stomach that may feel like indigestion, shortness of breath that may make you feel like you can't get enough air, even if you are resting, and feeling of dizziness and the possibility of fainting, and breaking out in cold sweats. While women may experience sudden severe fatigue or unusual fatigue that can last for several days, disturbances in sleep, anxiety, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, gas-like pain or indigestion, pain in the throat, shoulder, and upper back, jaw pain or pain spreading to the jaw, pressure or pain in the center of the chest, possibly spreading to the arm. And genetic diseases are diseases caused by a genetic mutation that generally passes from one individual to their offspring. These genetic diseases affect different tissues and organs in the body, in this case the heart, depending on the type of the disease. Familial or hereditary diseases of the nervous system most often affect the nervous system and have little or no effect on other parts of the body.
Perfect. So I'm going to start off my section, which is CRISPR and ethics, with asking you guys a question. So, do you guys think it is okay to move or choose someone's talents or the way they look or just the way they are? Do you think it's okay to make that decision for someone, to choose who they are? You guys don't have to answer, but just think about it. Perfect. So CRISPR. Clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. CRISPR is a program that was designed to cure diseases on a microscopic level. So what I have on the screen here, this is an example of a Cas9 protein. This is man-made. So what this does is pretty much it's programmed to be able to identify certain genes that are unwanted in a DNA strand. So a way to think about it is think of yourself as a book. So if you were a book, you'd be made up with a bunch of words, right, or letters. And so the letters would be DNA. So as the letters are interchanged and they're switched around, that is what creates you. And that's what makes you you. It could make you good at sports, or good at music, or anything like that, like whatever you love to do. So, yeah. So there are 3 stages to CRISPR gene editing. There is disruption, deletion, and correction. So, in disruption, this is pretty much where the Cas9 protein is able to identify where the unwanted gene is in your DNA strand. Then it moves to deletion. The Cas9 protein attaches itself to the DNA strand and acts as molecular scissors to cut the unwanted letters, if you will, off of your DNA. Then comes correction. Correction can happen 2 ways. 1 scientifically, or 2 naturally. So scientifically would be if after deletion, those letters are gone, if scientists would get Cas9 to put in different letters to help heal that area. You can also do it naturally, where it would be your body would just send letters to heal itself. So yeah, there was a study done. It's not finished, so I'm not going to give too much information on it. But there was a scientist, and he worked with CRISPR a lot, and so he wanted to see if it worked. So what he did was he got CRISPR to work on his left arm, right? And so if it would work, then he would, on his left arm, then he would have bigger muscles. And so he should be getting the results in about 2 or 3 more weeks, but I think that'll be very interesting to see. Perfect. So, how can CRISPR affect the world? And how far are we willing to go? Because this CRISPR-Cas9 could, in theory, create a world without disease, right? And so a world without disease, that's a world without, not quite without fault, but it's getting there, right? And there's this urge for perfection. So, CRISPR isn't quite a fantasy anymore. So people will go to extreme lengths to help themselves or a loved one, right? If you were able to help someone, you would, I guarantee it. So back to my question at the beginning. So is it okay to choose these things for someone, right? Well, this is kind of a little bit what CRISPR is doing. Not necessarily right away, but right now, it could cure a disease very, very quickly. And if you get CRISPR to heal or to be activated on an embryo or an egg or a sperm cell, then the cure would be permanent and it would be passed down genetically. So, yeah, people have made scientific leaps going into the future. Is this what we want? Because people are telling us we shouldn't be in the cookie cutter, I'm sure you guys have heard that one, or in the mold of what people tell us we should be in. And so, is CRISPR giving us another reason to be in that mold? If not, that's all right too. So I'm going to finish off with a question. If this is what stretching the boundary of ethics looks like now, if this is what it looks like to be like, oh, that's such a radical idea, if this is what it looks like now, what will it be like in the future, like 5 to 10 years, when this is normal? And we'll be doing this every day. So yeah, that's a little bit on CRISPR and the ethics of CRISPR. I'm going to hand things over to Juliana real quick. Oh wait, first I just want to say something. The genetics of cardiovascular diseases relates to homeostasis because when you have homeostasis, I'm sure you guys know what it means, but it's the way your body keeps balance, right? So the genetics of cardiovascular diseases throw things off balance, and in theory, CRISPR would be able to help that. So, yeah.
So any more questions?
You mentioned that if was embryo, the gene would it not
It would be permanent for that person. However, if they would have children, it wouldn't necessarily be passed down genetically.
Are there any more questions?
Oh. So like with this, is it possible, like, because let's say you get your arm cut off, right? And then it doesn't grow back, because that's how it works. Could you do something to change it so that it would eventually grow back with this?
I'm not entirely sure about this because right now they are just doing this on like embryos so that they could, when it's just one cell, so you don't have to work with entire DNA in your body. So right now, I don't think that's a possibility, but maybe in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.